Hi, I'm Stacy Fox. I'm the author of the Foreclosure Survival Guide, which you can download for free at www.foreclosure-survival-guide.com. Today we're going to look at which is worse, foreclosure or bankruptcy. Making a decision about which path to pursue, foreclosure or bankruptcy, depends on your evaluation of your individual situation. Today we're going to look at some pros and cons. The bankruptcy pros. Chapter 7 bankruptcy eliminates debt and allows you to keep any equity in your home. If your problem is primarily consumer debt, this may be your best option if you qualify. So if you just have so many bills, and that's why you can't meet your mortgage, Chapter 7 may be the best option for you. Chapter 13 restructures your debt, allowing you to pay off the amount in a way that makes sense for your family. Many people will not qualify for Chapter 7 Chapter 7 bankruptcy and be forced into a Chapter 13. Filing for bankruptcy stops the foreclosure action on your home. So as long as you have the bankruptcy protection of the court, they cannot foreclose on your home. As soon as the bankruptcy process is completed, the action can start right where it stopped. But for that time period while you're under the bankruptcy protection of the court, the bank cannot foreclose on you. If you do a bankruptcy and you want to get a new house down the line, often people find that if they have good credit otherwise, if they've maintained their credit otherwise, they can get back into a new mortgage in 2 years after a bankruptcy. And as we'll see, it takes longer after a foreclosure. You may also find that after your bankruptcy, your credit score will actually rise. And that is because there is new money available in your budget available for purchases. At least that's the way the financial institutions look at it. But bankruptcy does have some downsides as well. Many people who file for Chapter 13 fall out of bankruptcy and lose the court protection provided. This means that they not only have the bankruptcy on their record, they're also facing foreclosure proceedings again. And one thing you want to make sure doesn't happen is you don't want to have both a bankruptcy and a foreclosure on your record. If you abuse the system and do what's called a face filing bankruptcy for the sole purpose of delaying the foreclosure, you may face fines from the court. Finally, bankruptcy stays on your credit for 10 full years. That's longer than just about any other negative credit mark. So it's something you have to think about in terms of your long-term financial strategy. Now let's look at a couple of pros in terms of foreclosure. One is that it stays on your record for only 7 years in opposition to the 10 years for bankruptcy. And you won't risk falling out of foreclosure and having to get a bankruptcy. So this way, if you go the foreclosure route, you know you'll have the foreclosure on your record, but you know also that you won't have the bankruptcy on your record. And like I said, you don't want to end up in both. The cons of foreclosure is that the big one is you lose your home and any equity in it, if you have any equity in it. A lot of people don't these days. You generally cannot get into a mortgage for 4 years. That's compared to 2 years for bankruptcy. And this is really important because you have to look at whether your state has this or not. You may have a deficiency judgment filed against you. Now this means that the bank can collect the difference between what you owe and what they're able to sell the house for. And as you know, they're not going to be able to sell the house for as much as you owe in most cases. So then they can come after you in some states. Some states say that they can't come after you, some states say they can, but then they can come after you for the difference between the amounts. If that's the case, you may end up having to file bankruptcy anyway. So maybe you should go that route initially. If you're trying to decide which is worse, bankruptcy or foreclosure, you need to get my new report, the Foreclosure Survival Guide, which outlines the process of foreclosure and details many of the options homeowners like you have. This free report will help you to make smart decisions on whether to allow your home to go into foreclosure or whether to pursue other options. Get your report today at http://www.foreclosure-survival-guide.com. Notice that you have to put dashes between the words, so it's www.foreclosure-survival-guide.com. Directly to the right of this video, about a third of the way down the screen, there's a hyperlink. This is if you're watching it in YouTube. There's a hyperlink, and that'll take you directly to the site. If not, you can type it in directly, www.foreclosure-survival-guide.com. Thanks for your time.